Hey everybody, it's Tammy Van Hollander, and I am here with one of my dear buddies, Jessica Stone. And as we've been thinking about teleplay therapy and the pandemic, my go-to person when it comes to play therapy and technology, Jess, has been you. And I'm just so excited that you're here and would just love to hear your perspective and some words of wisdom for all of us.
I really appreciate it, and it's been quite a time for everybody for sure. I I would like to first, for people who aren't familiar with me, I just want to let you know that I've been writing about this and talking about this for quite some time. Not in terms of a pandemic, of course, but I wrote a book a couple of years ago, or wrote a chapter in my edited book, Integrating Technology into Modern Therapies, has some of our play therapy greats in there, applying how technology can be incorporated appropriately into play therapy. And then I also have another book coming out in June, which is Digital Play Therapy. So it's important to know that there is a foundation for this. There's a lot of research in other areas, other fields other than play therapy, and it's time for play therapists to really enter into this world in an organized way as best we can, given everything that's going on. So I think the most
Jess,
important,
I want to
yeah,
also cut you off because another
yeah,
huge one, which is such an amazing resource for all of us right now, is that you're the creator of a virtual sandtray, which is pretty cool. And maybe you could talk a little bit about that too.
sure. As we were just chatting about Tammy, we agreed that both of us aren't very good at self-promotion. So I'm doing my best here, and thanks for that. But virtual sandtray is basically a way to use sandtray on an iPad with people and in places where the traditional is not possible. And there's lots of info out there about it, and I'm certainly happy to answer questions for people. But right now, it's being used quite a bit in telehealth through a screen share feature on our platforms, and pretty soon we'll be launching another feature that will be allowing the client to create the tray on their end and not have to use the screen share feature. So we're actively working and hope to develop that, get it completed and released very, very soon. So yeah, this has been, it's funny because I'm not a gamer, I'm not a big tech person, which a lot of people think that I really am. And the thing about it is I have a focus of speaking the client's language and entering their world. And years ago, it was very clear to me that digital things, whatever they are, was really huge in our clients' world, in our children's world, in our adolescents' world, now our adult world, all of that. And it seemed really important to me to figure out if there were any tenets of our play therapy process and foundations that would apply to this area of a child and of any of our worlds. And that really became my passion. So I had to learn a lot. I had to start from ground zero, like some people do, in trying to figure out where's all this stuff and what does it all mean and how can we use it in play therapy. So really, that's been my focus all along. And right now, I think it's important for people to understand that there are so many parts of the therapeutic powers of play, those 20 core agents of change that Dr. Schaefer has outlined, and many other people have come along and discussed along the way, that really do apply to these processes and these interactions, the dynamic that happens when we're using a digital tool, just like we were using any other tool. And knowing that there's foundation in there, which we don't have time to get into all right here, but I promise you I did get into it all in my book, and then the digital play therapy book. So I wish it was coming out sooner. I wish it was out right now so that people could really use it as a resource. But knowing that there's a foundation to this can hopefully help people really understand that what is happening is therapeutic. The connection is therapeutic. The interactions, the understandings of the interactions, the social and emotional ability and growth is all there and possible. It's just another tool.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to state it. And I think it's so helpful because people are feeling stressed and not knowing really what to do, and recognizing what I had said in one of my other videos, that everything we do is, there's an intention to it and there is a therapeutic power to it, and that we need to really be able to recognize that and the power to all of those pieces. So selfishly, is there one online game, Jess tried to teach me Roblox, which was a disaster, that would be a fun tool for and simple for us to be able to be doing with some of our clients online? There's probably a lot, but like if you have one go-to that's not too tricky, what would it be?
Well, my brain just went in a bunch of different directions for sure. I'll say probably one of the most basic, easy to play, easy to know, easy to everything is Uno Freak. And that's just unofreak.com. You're really just playing Uno. And it's very slow, it's turn taking, it's not complicated. So that's probably the best one. And you can create a private room, just like we were trying to do, or we did, but we were trying to play in Roblox. But this is very simple. And you just create your own private room, so it's just the two of you playing. One thing I want to emphasize, though, is when you're doing any of these things, use your platform, Zoom or Doxy or what, any of the ones that people are using. I use Simple Practice because I already had that set up for my practice. Use that to communicate. So if you and I were playing Uno Freak right now, we could have the game going in the background on the computer, but we would still be seeing each other and talking to each other through here. My cat decided to say hi.
Right.
The joys of working from home.
I actually have a question though with that. So I actually tried to go on to the Uno Freak. So when the child goes onto it, what are the type of, I guess, questions we need to ask for the parents if they're going to go on, and do they need to enter a password? So those are all things that I had a little bit of anxiety about in terms of those different pieces, and making sure any information that they're putting in on any of these online platforms are okay.
Right. So I think that's important no matter what you're using, for sure, or smaller conversation with the parents about this. Obviously, we have informed consent in place. Talk to parents ahead of time about what you're playing, what you're planning, and why you're doing it. Absolutely. So that's it. That to me is all a given. But I think that especially for younger children, and you define what that means for you, is that the account is set up with the parent ahead of time. So the parent can see the game that you're playing and understand what the involvement is in doing so. So that parent can feel comfortable walking out of the room and letting this Uno game continue.
Okay, that's really helpful. And I think that's really helpful for everyone.
I'm worried about our connection. It's so hard these days for everybody with the internet connection and keeping things stable. So hopefully all this is clear. But one of the other distinctions that I wanted to make is that we have two main categories, and there's probably a lot of other categories we can define, but two main categories here. One is utilizing any of these tools, whether it be scavenger hunts or yoga or arts and crafts or digital tools, whatever it is. We have one category of using these in a way to connect, and the connection is our fundamental. The other is using these for our therapeutic goals. And those goals may have changed based on the situation at the time than what they were when we were in our offices. But and there can be a cross section of this too. But I think it's important for us to conceptualize: are we doing doing this so that we can maintain our connection, establish a new type of connection, whatever it is, goals, or both. And that will also help inform what tools we're going to use.
Right. Okay, Jess, thank you. I feel like we are slowly beginning to lose connection, but I think we got most of it, and I'm just excited to see you, to connect with you. It seems to be buzzing. So I am going to put all the information, though, at the bottom of the channel, just so they have more information on how they can find you and reach out to you. Is there a specific website
Great.
or anything that you have that you want to tell us now, even though I don't know why we're losing connection right now.
I think probably the best thing to do is to connect on Facebook. Digital Play Therapy and Virtual Sandtray app are two of those types of pages that I maintain, and then also my professional page, which is Jessica Stone, Ph.D, RPT-S.
Okay, awesome. I will link it all below. Okay, Jess, you are the best. Continue your awesome work, and I so appreciate you helping supervise me and navigate me through this new digital world, which has been a little tricky. It's kind of funny that we're having tech issues on our video today on technology.
I know, it is. The irony is not lost on me for sure.
Okay, Jess, be well, and thank you so much. You're the best.
Thank you. Bye.